Well, good morning everybody.
Good morning.
We are the group 9, the last group, finally, right? Well, and our topic is the history of language and change. And as introduction, we can mention very interesting topic. We are going to talk about family histories, family connection. We are going to talk about the Old English, the Middle English, and the Modern English, and other interesting topics, right? Well, to start, we're going to talk about family trees. Do you know what family trees? Or maybe some idea? Never have you heard that idea? Family trees is the graphic representation. In this case, it's not about family, it's about a language. It's the graphic representation of language, of the old language and modern language in one connection. So, to start, we have some family history facts. In 1786, Sir William Jones made an observation about Sanskrit. Do you know what is Sanskrit? Never you have heard about Sanskrit. It's the Asian language of India. So Sir William Jones made observations. He said that Sanskrit was a wonderful structure. Sanskrit has a perfect structure, more than the ancient Greek, more focused than Latin, and because the root of the verb was Sanskrit and the grammar of the Sanskrit was easier than other language. So Sir Williams made an observation about Sanskrit. Then Sir Williams inferred that a number of languages from very different geographical areas must have some common ancestor. Well, it was clear because many other areas from different geographical areas have some common ancestor, but we don't have records or we don't have how to calculate this common ancestor. But we are going to see later how this common ancestor had the connection, or how all these common ancestors have a relation. Other fact is during 19th century a term came into use to describe that common ancestor. This term is Proto-Indo-European. Proto-Indo-European is the authenticized original form of a language with a root. This is the family tree. This is what I said. This is the graphic representation. And here we have the old language or Asian language. We have Germanic, Celtic, Italic, Hellenic, and Baltic. Then we had some Asian language from India. We have Indo-Iranians. We have Indic and Iranian. All these languages that you see here, are Asian language. And this one are the mother language. This mother language come from the Asian language. Well, all these modern and old language are related, have some connection. This is what the philology, the study of the language, and the study of the history of the language, make a result about this family tree. And they infer some family connection. Because you can infer that maybe in nowadays, maybe Italian language doesn't have any relationship with Hindi, right? Because Italian is different in structure, in grammar. Maybe you can infer that we don't have any relation. So, but how we can infer that these languages have connection? How we can do, or how we can demonstrate that all these model languages have some connection with each other? Well, here we have family connection, and to comprove that all these languages have some connection, we have some examples. We have awards in all languages. We have the Sanskrit, the Asian language of India, right? Latin, that is the Asian language of Italian or Spanish, Spain. Then we have Asian Greek, that obviously is the Asian language of Greek. So we have the word guitar in Sanskrit. We have the word pater in Latin, and we have the word pater in ancient Greek. Can you infer something? The pronunciation is similar, right? Are maybe not identical, but are really similar. This is one of the connection, because maybe in the modern language, the structure of this or the language are not the same, but in all language they have some connection. So we can infer in other example. For example, this one in Sanskrit we have brother. We have in Latin we have frater. In ancient Greek we have prater. Can you infer something else? Maybe the structure or the written ways or the written form is similar. The pronunciation is mostly the main characteristic, right? So this is how to provide the family connection has. So how the family connection. And now we have connects. Connect. Someone wants to read?
Cognates of a word in a language. Example, English is a word in another language. Example, German that has similar form and is or was used with a similar meaning.
Yeah. A connect is a word when we have two words from two different languages, and they have three characteristics. I don't know if you can see, but the three characteristics of the connect is they look the same, sound the same, and mean the same. This is the three characteristic of connect. And let's see some examples about connect. And we have examples from words in German and English. We had the words matter. I don't know how to pronounce matter in German, but matter. And we have English. Can you notice that these words have the three characteristics? For example, matter. They look the same? Yes, similar, but maybe are not identical, but they are similar. Okay, sound the same, matter, mother, similar. And mean the same, because mother in German is mother is mother. So we have another example. Father and father. Look the same? Yes, similar, because they have the same letters. Maybe. Sound the same? Father and father sound the same? Yes, right. And they mean the same also. And the last one, example, I don't know, Fran, I don't know how to pronounce this one in German, but it's kind of and friendly. So they look the same and sound the same and they have the same meaning. So what is the true characteristic of connect? Same. It is important to know this one because we have false connects. Someone wants to read? Yeah, false connects are etymologically related but no longer overlap meaning between languages. False connects has the three characteristics, but the third one is they don't have the same meanings because they look the same, they sound the same, but they don't have the same meaning. This is three characteristics important for false connects. We have examples here. Example from Spanish and English. We have in Spanish the words contento, and in English we have happy. Because when you are a second language learner, maybe you can find this word in Spanish, right? And you want to try to write this word in English. Content, because you think that this word represents content in Spanish, no? But content. Okay, let's see. Contento look the same, right? Sound the same, content and contento. But they have the same meaning? No, content in English means other thing, right? So this is not a connect. So this is not connect. Let's see some other examples. Embarazada en español. And maybe you as a second language learner, have you heard or have you seen this word? Embarazada, something like that. So, embarazada and embarazada look the same, but have the same written way. Sound the same, yeah, embarazada, embarazada, but they don't have the same meaning because embarazada is another thing, is not the same meaning, so this is not false connect. So I had another example in order to see if you pay attention. Okay. So, yeah, exercise. Okay, I want you to say me which of these words are cognate and which of these words are not cognate. For example, the first one, aggressive, the words aggressive in English, and the words in Spanish agresivo. they are connect? Yeah? Why?
Because the meaning, the sound, and
Look the same.
and look
Yeah.
are the same.
They have the same meaning. This is the more important, the same meaning, look the same and sound the same. This is a connect, right? It's a connect. Bravo, palabra bravo en español, with the words red in English, is a connect. False connects? Why?
Because have the same look, but not the same meaning because gray is valiente.
Yeah, red is valiente en español. So this is not a connect, it's a false connect, right? The word cartoon in English and the word cartón in Spanish is a connect or false? False. Why? Cartoon is a comic, right? In English, in cartón is another thing in Spanish, so this is not a connect, right? And the last one, system and sistema. Is a connect or not connect? Yes, it's a connect because system and sistema have the same meaning, have the same look and sound the same. So this is a connect. So was all my presentation. I don't know if it's time for a question. I don't know if you have question.
The connect is important in language.
Yeah, it's important in second language learners.
Why?
Teacher use these connects in order to learners learn different words in English. If the learner is studying English, they know all these words from one language and the other language, so they know both at the same time. This is important.
I have a question, but I'm not really sure about it. What you said on mother language. Mother language.
Mother is a German word.
No. There are other type of languages. Ancient and modern.
In family connection,
Yeah.
Oh.
Those two. The Dutch, Spanish. You said that those are the moderns.
no, they are confront. These words are modern. The mother's language that we have, the language that we use today. This is all the language that was used before this one. So this modern language comes from the old language. This is the word modern. My question, that's it. So this was my presentation. Thank you.
Right, morning guys.
Morning.
How are you?
Fine.
We are excited, right?
Yeah.
We are taking the last classes of that semester.
Yeah.
So, as you know, during those couple of weeks, we have been talking about about sentences and phrases and structures. So then syntax, semantics, grammatic, morphology, and all of this have relationship with what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about how we reconstruct words of ancient languages, for to say something. But first, I know that my classmate was explaining very well about those things about family trees, family connections, codenames, how to recognize false codenames, and all of those things, right? But it's time to see some terminology that is going to be helpful for us to understand what I'm going to explain to you, right? So I need you to put, please, close attention because this is like kind of a complicated topic. It took me time to understand those things because it's like hard to understand this. So the first term that I have here is plural language. So one of you has an idea what this term means. So yes, by looking at the definition of what I have there before. No? So plural language means the ancestral language from which modern language comes from. So just for to represent better what those things means, I'm going to draw something that I saw in a video, because it helps me to understand what a plural language is, right? So for example, let's say that this, I don't know if you can see it from there.
Yeah.
So, this, we're gonna call this as an ancestral language. And from this language, other sounds, for example, comes. So others come from there. So let's say that the ancestral language is the Latin. But do you know which languages come from Latin? Yeah, Spanish. What else? Italian. And French. French is another language that comes from Latin, right? Alright, so I don't know if you understand this. Which the ancestral language is, or the old language is, and which are the modern languages. So, you have any question? I need you to understand this well, right? So, is everything clear?
Yes.
Alright, we're going to see that the other term that is a cognate. So, my classmate already explained what a cognate is. I know that if I ask you what is a cognate, so you're going to like immediately answer what it is, right? So, then what is a cognate?
Is a word that in all languages are the same, similar in the pronunciation, the meaning, and look.
Yeah, it's acceptable. So, we have the definition here about cognate set. So it said that cognate set is the set of related words descending from the same ancestor word of the proto language. So, how come? Just for to exemplify this. So, tell me a word that comes from Latin.
From
Latin. So it's kind of hard, you know. So, but let's imagine that in this circle is a word that comes from Latin. So from this word that comes from Latin, the ancestral language. So our derive is the correct pronunciation, right? So comes another word. So this set of words that come from this are called cognates or set of cognates, right? So it's clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So now I need you to feel like concentrate. So just be concentrate, please. Because we're gonna see how to reconstruct words, or older forms, right? So first, I got here the comparative reconstructions. So I was reading a lot about this because it's kind of hard, you know. So let me tell you that comparative reconstruction actually is a method. So how to reconstruct words. That's why it says here, the aim of this procedure. So you know what the word aims means, right? You have an idea? What's
Help.
Yeah. It's kind of adjective, you know? Adjective. Whoa. So let's say another word, just for make you to understand better. So the objective of this procedure is to reconstruct what must have been the original or proto formed in the common ancestral language, right? So this method works in or operate in the basis of two basic principles, which are the majority principle, the majority principle. Let's exemplify this. So if we got a set of cognates, you know, these are cognates, words from different languages. So that begin with the letter of sound. You know, pronounce it. That's good. So, and you got another that begins with a sound, or something like that. So we already took phonetics, so we know how to produce those sounds. So, these principles suggest that the majority has retained the sound. So that's why these will be or must be the ancestral form of the word, right? So, it's clear? Yes. Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. I hope. Because those principles are going to help us to understand what comes next. What comes next, right? So, which is sound reconstruction and word reconstruction and all of those things. So we got the first one. We got the second one here, which is the most natural development principle. This principle is based on the fact that certain type of sounds are very common, whereas others are very unlikely. So from here, this principle works on the basis of 4 basic points, which are final vowels. The first one, final vowels often disappear. For example, we got this word. We got this word. I think that this word is in Spanish, right? So, and it says, final vowels often disappear. So, the word will be pin if the changes operate on the basis of this element, right? So the second one, voiceless sounds becomes voiced typically between vowels. So I took those examples from the Georgia books because, as I said before, this to find this information about this topic is kind of complicated, you know. So the next one is in a word, if operating the basis of these elements will be like this. I don't know. I mean, if you ask me what language it is, I don't know. I mean, I don't have an idea. I was looking for information about this, but so it's kind of complicated. So the next one, stops become fricative. We got riba. So at the end, the word must be riba. If it were in the basis of this element. So next, consonants become voiceless at the end of words. We got risu, voiceless, becomes voiceless become voice. So it must be right. So do you have any question till now? No. I know that it is kind of complicated to understand. And if you want, take notes about this because this is gonna help us to analyze what is coming now, right? What? Yeah. So here we have what took me time to understand, right? So if we were exposed to an example like this, so and if we operate on the basis of those two principles that I have shown before, you will find easy to understand this. So let's analyze it. Let's analyze it on the majority principle. So as I explained before, which sound do you think that have been retained in this set of words? Sound. Yeah, sound. Yeah, you are right. I'm gonna put attention. Yeah. The sound that have been retained is sound. If we operate the basis of the majority principle, right? So from here, we can suggest that the most ancient or older form of this language had been the sound, right? So one of you can tell me what language it is? Cantar, or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce Spanish. No, it's not Spanish.
Italian.
Latin.
Italian.
Yeah, Italian. So the next one's Cantar. Spanish, right? Yeah. We're speaking in English because we tend to confuse both languages. So then we have chanter or chanter, something like that. This word is in French. So, do you know how to pronounce it?
Chanter.
Chanter. Yeah, something like that. Well, if we operate on the basis of that principle, so we notice, we realize that the sound has been retained, right? So, but let us focus on the second principle that I showed, that it was
Voiceless. Comes voice.
yeah. I mean, which was the name or to say something of the second principle that I explained. The most natural development principle, right? If you operate on the basis of this, there is a part, or there is an element that it says voiceless, voiceless becomes voiced at the end, right? Do you think that have relationship with this? Let's analyze it. Because later on I'm going to give you a piece of paper where you have to develop an activity, right? So let's analyze it. You got it? Or no? Alright. One element or one part of this of this principle suggests that as top sounds become fricative. So the sound is a fricative sound, right? As shown in language A and B. So the sh kind in language C is a fricative sound. So this how can I say this? Yeah, this chart have relationship with this element because stops become fricative, right? So you have an equation, you're gonna do one at the end. You're gonna ask a question at the end. I know you're gonna kill. So then we have word reconstruction. So the same process is in here. So we got in the first one sound reconstruction. Here's word reconstruction, but we're gonna apply the two principles the same, right? So if we analyze this, which of the two principles have shown there? Yeah, you have it. Tell me. I need your help. Let's analyze it in the way of the majority principle first.
Again, the first ones mention the sound. No.
Alright, let's make it easy for you because of the time. So, the majority principle suggests that if we got a set of words, if we were faced with a set of words that have like the sounds more than the back sounds, this sound is gonna be, this word is going to maintain the root, right? So, which one in here? Let's analyze this. Which one in here have maintained that sound? Language 2 and 3, right? So, the sound, we can suggest here that the most older form have been this one, right? So, and the same here, if we do the same process, then we're gonna be faced that the sound has been maintained from the sound. How do you pronounce? How do you produce the sound? So it's kind of true, right? So then, and we go the same. So the sound has been maintained from the sound and the same here, right? So, but now we're gonna analyze it on the way of the other principle, which was the National Development Principle. So it says that final vowels often disappear at the end of words. So if you look up here, final vowel disappear. So as I told you before, I have some exercise because of the time. I'm going to you're going to do it here. So you have to take it and do it at home. But do it. It's gonna be a homework for your vacation. Yeah, you're gonna give it to me the next coming semester, right? So, well, basically, this is all, guys. So, if you have any question, I know that you have questions. Please, don't feel.
In your own words, what is word reconstruction?
I mean, as I was explaining to you, word reconstruction is the way in which you reconstruct words from the ancient or the ancestral proto-language. So, and you, how can I say, brought these elements to the new ones. For example, as I show you. So, the two, how can I say, the two principles that I show are very helpful methods to do that. So basically, we are like, in the material, there is a part that says that sounds, words, analyze words in a written way, something is misleading. So we could analyze them in the way of sound, or the way of sound reconstruction. So that's another question. No. Tell me. Another question, please. I need 2 questions, at least 2 questions.
Why voiceless become to be voice?
What?
In words, why voiceless becomes to be voice?
Why voiceless sounds
Change.
became voice sound in the protocols.
The brother?
Yeah.
It's kind of complicated to answer that question because if you see the material, we got the short information about it. But I will say that, so those are components given for the principles of how to reconstruct modern words. That's what I'm saying now. Thank you.
You said any question?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. As you have been looking, my classmate has been explaining about some of the changes that appear or happen during the ancient languages. But what I like to talk about is sound changes. But those sound changes occur just in the English language, because it was supposed that somebody was going to explain about the Middle English and the Old English, and those changes are focused on the modern English, the language that we speak currently or now and in the everyday speaking. Let's start with sound changes. Sound changes. Does anybody, somebody wants to read the slide, please?
In a number of changes from Middle to Modern English, some sounds disappeared from the pronunciation of certain words. In a process, simple describes some loss.
The first one that I like to focus on is on sound loss. The sound loss was the disappearance of some sounds from the pronunciation of some words. For example, let's see that example here that the initial sound of many old English words was lost as in la. That pronunciation nowadays is that sound is not pronounced in the modern English because that was one of the sound that disappeared in the modern when they come with the modern English. That word could have been pronounced like flat. You know that we have the sound ha, the sound group, and up and down. It may have been sounds like flat. And with the coming of the modern English, now we say that it is the word Lord. Lord. And I also want to write down in the whiteboard that some of the words as you can see here, we have another example. I was looking some words in a dictionary. In a Middle English dictionary, we have the two words here that in the Middle English they started with the sound ha, but those words were pronounced like ability, or able. But with the coming of the modern English, those sounds disappeared. It means that those sounds disappears, and now we have that in English we pronounce ability, and the other we pronounce able. Those phenomena, what is called like the H dropping, that they take away all the H or the ha sounds. Another sounds, but we will say that some words lost some sounds, but kept their spellings. And we have the word initial velar sound, and the other one that is got. Those are no longer pronounced in the modern English. As you can see, that I have some examples here in this part that those words when they are not pronounced before nasal. You can see that the word initial sound and the word initial velar sounds like cut is not pronounced in English, in the modern English, but probably in the past they were pronounced. We have some examples like knack, knee, kneel, knife, night, no, knowledge, knuckle, and with no, nasty, no. You can see that the first sound, the k sound, and the g sounds disappeared. That's why they kept the spelling but lost the pronunciation of the first sounds or the word initial sounds. And another example is the velar fricative. I don't know how to pronounce it because it was a sound that disappeared in the modern English, but it may have been or pronounced like ha or something like that. It says that that was used in the older pronunciation as like a nicht or the close modern German pronunciation of Nacht. I was looking for the pronunciation of that word in German that sounds like a nat, nat. And probably that word here above may have been pronounced like nicht, but as it said that it has a little bit of relationship on it. And this is not longer pronounced in the modern English, and it is, you know that word in German is pronounced like night, but in the word night in English, it is not pronounced. And another, what can I say, method or something that is not, that has to do with the sound changes is metathesis. Metathesis is the transposition of words, or when you change the position of some sounds that appear inside of words. So we have some example here that it says that involves reversal position of two sounds in a word. Those, in this part, you can see that those were some words that were pronounced and also written in that way. But now in the modern English are written on the other way. That is like that. They evolved during the course of the time. That word action, and now it is act, phrased, and now it is pronounced first, rena, that then evolved to burn or burn, that is now in the modern English, breathe, or now it is pronounced like bird, herb, frost, and horse, and webs, and wasp. What you can see on those words? How could you understand that process? Can anybody say me what is the difference, or what is something that you see in those words? What is the difference? What is the metathesis form that way? The writing, yeah, they change in writing, but also change in the sounds, in the pronunciation. For example, let's see that word. Can you see that part? In the ancient time, or in the Middle English, that word, if you say, if you are related to the first names of the first part, if you wanted to say, who wants to be the priest? For example, if somebody wants to pass it around and to explain something, hey, who wants to be the priest? They didn't say who wants to be the first, but you can see that in that part, there was a transposition of sounds. You can see the R, the sounds was transposed. For example, in that part, or even the vowel sound was transposed or changed into a back position. And now, you can see that the sounds appear after the sounds. You can see, but in the modern English there was a transposition of sounds. Now it is not pronounced like that. In that part, the sound e becomes and the sound R that first appeared after the sound is now in the modern English appear after the vowel sound So, how can we understand that better? Nowadays, we pronounce, well, we have the word ask. But in the ancient time, it was pronounced like axe. And sometimes many people are confused, or when they are talking, they tend to mispronounce that word. But although you don't believe that word, the word in the ancient time, it was the right pronunciation of that word. What we can see is that there was a transposition of sound. It is a transposition, they are like mixed something. The metathesis form may affect non-adjoining and non-adjoining segment. Do you know what is an adjoining segment? Have you ever heard about the neighboring segment? Neighboring segment is side. For example, in that word, we have three sounds individually, but this segment is the adjoining or the neighboring sounds that are beside it. This is the word or that is beside of that. That's why it may affect the adjoining sounds and non-adjoining sounds. In simple words is the transposition of some sounds or some words to the back or to the front position. Now, and the reversal position is the other. It is something that I have already explained. It is like what I was saying about it. We have epenthesis. It is another type of sound change that occur with the coming of the modern English. We have some addition to the middle of some words. As you can see, empty, there is empty, spindle, or now it is spindle, and timber, there is timber. You will have to know that there are many kinds of epenthesis sounds, or epenthesis changes, or groups. But now I want to focus on just two of them. There. I would like to write another example. If we want to understand what epenthesis means, we have to look at an example. We have the word something. You know how you transcribe that word. We have the transcription of that word. But the epenthesis form is the adding of a sound, just a sound, in the middle of some sound. Maybe some native speaker, when they are talking, they add sounds in the middle of that. The epenthesis form here, or the epenthetic form, is the sound pa, because it is added in the middle of some words. And the other case, I know that I have said, but as I said you, that there are many kinds of epenthetics or epenthesis processes. We have processes. The processes is the addition or syllables at the beginning or some extra sounds at the beginning of some words. But it just happened from Latin to Spanish, but they are not used in English. We have some example here in some words, Latin words. This Cola, I don't know if I pronounce like that. That now in Spanish they added an extra word that is the letter or the sound egg. that is escuela, spiritus, and in Spanish, espíritu. Escribir or escribir, and in Spanish is escribir. Escribir. But what you can see here is that the protestant sounds is the extra sound that we add at the beginning. We add some sounds, just the sounds at the beginning. And sometimes when we are learning another language, second language, we tend to confuse, and when we see some words, we tend to add the letter E, in English is E, to some words when we want to write. It's not going to be written, read. Now, we have some syntactic changes. Those ones, I'm going just to read them and I'm going to explain them. For example, in the past, as you can see here, probably you cannot see in bold from this part, this, I don't know if it was pronounced like fair head, that in modern English is he traveled. But in the past or in the Middle English, the verb came before the subject. And now in the modern English, the subject becomes before the verb. Another one is the object could be replaced before the verb as in he, I don't know if it was he, yes, it is something. But the other explanation was that one is that the object pronoun becomes at the beginning and not at the end. And at the beginning of the sentence, or in he, man, neb, something. And in the past, a double negative construction was possible. It means that you can make negations or something using never and the auxiliary verb don't. For example, we cannot say I won't never go to that place. What do we have here? We have that. We have two negations. Two negations. We cannot use, as you know, we cannot use never with the auxiliary verb or the negative auxiliary verb won't to express something in the future. If we want to write in the modern English, we have to write it like I will never go to that place, to that park. Sorry, I got to that park or to that place. Could be great. To that place. But in the past, it was simple to use two negative contractions. And we have some semantic changes. Semantics deals with the meaning of some words in some context. But who wants to help me through it, please? Somebody, you?
The semantic change. The most obvious way in which word English refers to all English is in the number of plural words that have come to the language since the Old English period. For more broadly, see chapter 5. There's obviously many words have ceased to be used since we no longer carry words. Most of us, at least, the word point meaning that most of us word we no longer heard.
Yeah. As you can see here, the semantic changes focuses on the meaning of some words. Here, in this presentation, that slide, it shows how the words change the meaning in the modern English. Some words are no longer pronounced, are no longer written and used when you are talking, and that is an example. The word phone is not longer used, but sometimes when you are reading it could be something, how can I say, some theater, when they are performing something, you can find that word there. A common Old English word for man was where, or where, but it has fallen out of use except in horror films where the compared werewolf occasionally appear. In other words, some words change the semantic structure. You know that if you want to relate, or if you wanted to emphasize to the word man in the past, you will have to say where. But now to use the word man. We have two other processes, that is broadening, that is the change in the meaning of word by expansion, so that the word is applicable in more context than it previously was and means more than it previously. In that slide, you can see that the broadening process is to use one word to express or to relate or to make emphasis in many meanings. In the past, there was some words. One word means or had many meanings. Okay. For example, that word, holy day. You can see that they are written in separate. They are written separately. Holy day was not, you didn't focus or you didn't emphasize in the vacation or the something that you do now. But that one, his meaning was changed as a religious, it meant like the religious feast. But now, that word is now written like that. And it doesn't mean that it has to be used just for a religious feast. You know what is a feast? Feast? Yeah. What I want you to understand is that one word means just one. It has one meaning. It just was used for religious purpose. But now, when you say the word holiday, it can include religious feast, vacation, and some special days. All of them, these three meanings are included in just in a word. And we have the other word that is being used as father, that I'm not going to explain because of the time. Narrowing. Narrowing refers to the opposite of broadening. It is defined as the reduction in context in which a word can appear in simple terms. The meaning of the word has gotten more specific. We have that word here. That word was hung in the past. If you wanted to talk about whatever kind of breed, you know what is a breed? A breed of dog? Like a raza de perros. If you wanted to say whatever kind of breed in the past, you said the word ham. But now, if you want to relate or make emphasis in some others, and some other breeds, you have the word breed. Breed. But it was changed. Do you know the breed of dog that is the, I don't know if it is hound or something, that one? It is a breed of dog. It is a breed of dog. And you see how those words are so similar? In the past, that word was used to make emphasis on whatever kind of breed of dog. But now, this same word is just emphasized to relate just for one breed. It is just a breed of dog. As you can see, it is the hound breed of dogs. What narrowing did is that in the broadening, the difference between broadening and narrowing is that in the broadening, some words that have just one meaning, now in the modern English, they have more than one meaning. And narrowing, the words that have more than one meaning, for example that one, now just have one meaning or is used just for emphasizing in one haseo. And I think it is the last of them. It is diachronic and synchronic variation. Who wants to read it? You.
Synchronic linguistic study of language at one particular period of time, usually the present, also known as descriptive linguistics or general linguistics. Psycholinguistics tries to understand the functioning of language at a single point of time without reference to earlier or later stages. One can approach all different aspects of language such as grammar, semantics, syntax, phonology, so from two different points of view.
Okay. Synchronic linguistics make us understand how the language is used in a single point of time. How comes? In that part, we have that the synchronic linguistics just focuses on one time, and those are divided in grammar, semantic, syntax, and phonology. And we have diachronic linguistics. This is historical study of the language, and the geographic. Synchronic is the geographic study of a language, how it differs in some dialects. For example, in the United States, there are different kinds of person or different kinds of accent. And what synchronic linguistics wants to focus is how those ways of pronouncing or speaking differs one from another. And synchronic linguistics just focus in one specific time, in one specific age. And I think that it is all. Thank you. If you have some questions about it, metathesis, semantic, syntax, practices, practices, you can make it. Okay.
What does epenthesis mean?
Epenthesis. Okay. Epenthesis is the addition of some sounds. Of some sounds in the middle of some words. as I was explaining, well, I have erased it, but you can see there that in the middle of some words you add some sounds. Some sounds were added with the coming of the modern English. For example, we have that word that is spinal. It was pronounced like spinal, but in the modern English, this phenomenon, what it makes is that you will have to, where some words, some sounds were added in the middle of the word. The word that was added to the middle of the word. The same happened with the word timber. It was pronounced timber. But in that case, we have the word but in the middle of that, and the word now it sounds timber. Okay. Another question?
The difference between synchronic and diachronic.
The difference between synchronic and diachronic. Synchronic, and what synchronic wants to say, or is that it is just focused on the how can I say it? In the place, how the language differs from from some part or another part. For example, if we say how the English, the American English differ from the British English, you see that there is a difference between them in pronunciation, in grammar, in semantic. Well, in semantic no, but in pronunciation is a little bit different. But synchronic focuses on how those are different from part to part, and diachronic focus on just on how the language has evolved in a specific time. Another question? Okay. You got it? No. Okay, I think that it is all, and